Now, Stanley Bourke, you've been a long time involved with Westport Rugby Club. How did you get involved in rugby first?
Well, to be honest, Charlie, I think it was yourself that brought me into the club. I was a young lad after being in boarding school, came back, I was 17 and wasn't doing a lot, and I think you collared me and I played the seconds match, and I actually played my first match for the club when Stephen Welch was playing his last.
So that's gone back a bit. Can you remember what year that was about?
About 1980.
1980. And had you played it in secondary school yourself? Had you played school rugby?
I had played with Stanley Grammar School for 4 years.
So you had the basics?
I had the basics, yeah.
And so you moved up to the first team then, I assume?
Yes.
What height? What height are you?
6'2.5".
6'2.5". Well, you were useful as a second row.
Well, I didn't end up in the second row. I ended up propping for, I don't know, I think it was 18 years in the first team. But
18 years. And you had a bit of...
out of propping once you went into it around here.
Did you have much success in the 18 years?
We won the league in my last season. And that was the ideal time to retire.
So you retired after winning the league?
After winning the league. I think we won the league previous, maybe 10 years previous. And we won the junior plate once upon a time, I think, when Joe McGovern and Bobby Hanrahan and a good few of the old boys were still playing.
You were captain?
I was.
What year was that?
I'd say be 85, 86.
85, 86.
Yeah, I remember it was a time perhaps kind of like what we're in at the moment, where a lot of people were immigrating. Things weren't great locally. We had a very, very young and mixed team that year. We didn't get on that well. Like, we survived, I suppose, the best way to put it. But the immigration was high on the ocean at the time.
Okay. And you were president?
I was. That's not too long ago, I suppose. My 2 years as president was far more successful than my years as captain, but we won the league. We nearly did a treble that year. We lost in cup final in I think by 2 or 3 points to Corinthians, and the seconds won the Arden Craig Cup the same year. I suppose we had a team there together for a long number of years, and we just got that final bit out of them to win the league and almost do the double, but not quite.
Not quite. Who were the main characters in the club in your time? Looking back over it now, who would you say were the big
certainly
characters?
Starting off, Joe McGovern would have been chairman at that particular time. And Joe was chairman for, I don't know, many years. I'd say 12, that's a guess. But Joe was very influential character at that time, as was John Cox would have been secretary, Joe O'Donnell would have been treasurer, Stephen Welch, obviously hard core of the club, Paddy Hoban. Just trying to rattle the brains now to think, but Michael Coynan would have been secretary shortly after, treasurer. But certainly I would have got involved in the club when the club purchased the 7 acres of land here in Carrolly.
Can you remember what year that was? About?
I think it was 1981.
1981. There was a bit of controversy when they bought that pitch.
There was.
What happened?
I don't know anything about it.
Diplomatic answer. So you're still involved to an extent?
I'm still involved. I suppose I'm getting to the other end of the scale now, where I'll be giving my pension book and enough done and get out of here. UID is in, but
you never give it up, do you?
Involved with the youth at the minute, but I'm going to take a break next year. The young fellas are getting near the end of their school years, but I'll be taking a break next year, maybe for a year or two, and we'll see what happens then.
You have other interests besides?
Well, I suppose I'm fortunate. I suppose I have a business, and we're in business, which is probably another key thing at the moment.
What do you do?
Waste removal, disposal, recycling, etc. You
were in the early days of that, you were?
Probably fortunate that I got in at a time when the councils were doing a lot of it when I came in, and the real recycling era and the environmental controls and measures that are happening now weren't in then, and I got in just before it, and it probably it gave me a vital start. Now obviously part of my involvement with the rugby club, I think, was a big help to me starting off the business, you know.